This episode of Beyond the Backyard is brought to you by Ultimate Archery and Outdoors, Ultimate Deer Products, Head to Tracks Incorporated, Red Life Food Plot Seed Company, Tacticam, Jay's Sporting Goods, and by Oz Cut Broadheads. Welcome back to Beyond the Backyard. I'm your host, Steve, and today we're going to be tackling a big question in Michigan's hunting world. Should there be an early and late doe season? Now, this is one of the topics that gets pretty heated pretty quick. Some hunters say that the seasons are essential for managing deer herds, keeping Michigan's ecosystem healthy, but others argue that putting unnecessary pressure on deer makes hunting more complicated and risks hurting the future of our herd. So we're going to be breaking it down. We're going to look at the pros of these seasons, we're going to look at the cons of the seasons, and we'll wrap it up with some big picture thoughts. I'm not here to push an agenda. I'm not going to tell you what to think. My goal is to lay out the information so you can form your own opinion. But before we dive in, here's a quick reminder. Hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, and make sure to follow us Beyond the Backyard. Leave us a review, tell your buddies about us, and help us reach more folks across Michigan and beyond. All right, let's start with some background. When we say early doe season, we're talking about the hunts that take place in September, right before October's bow hunt. Also, there's another season, the late doe season, which runs from December into January, and in some counties even beyond that. But why do they exist? Well, the primary reason is the deer population management. Michigan has a lot of deer, almost close to 2 million by some estimates throughout the state. Now, obviously, in some areas it's more dense than others, but they can cause some serious problems. We have car accidents, crop damage for farmers, and even damage to forests where deer overbrowse young trees and native plants. Now, the DNR, or the Department of Natural Resources, has used these seasons as a tool to give hunters more opportunity to take antlerless deer and keep the numbers in check. But there's also a biological reason behind it. Controlling the number of does directly impacts the number of fawns born the following year. By targeting antlerless deer, managers are better stabilizing the deer herd. So that's the why. But now let's talk about the arguments in favor of these seasons. First let's start with the positives. Population control. These seasons give hunters more time to help reduce overpopulation. For areas where deer numbers are exploding, especially like southern Michigan, early and late doe hunts are an important tool. They help balance deer with available habitat and food sources. Next, we got crop and property protection. Farmers are often some of the strongest voices in favor of these seasons. A high deer population means corn, soybeans, and hay fields can get hammered. Early hunts in particular give landowners relief just before harvest time. Next, we have road safety. Michigan is one of the top states for deer vehicle collisions. By reducing the deer numbers, especially the does that reproduce, you lower the risk of accidents. That saves lives and also saves money. Number 4 is more opportunity for hunting. For hunters, these extra seasons means more time in the woods, more time in the field. Families who can't make it out during the traditional firearm or archery season sometimes appreciate the flexibility. But it can also be a chance to get the kids or new hunters out in the woods when it's not so crowded. Number 5 is a better herd management. Taking does helps balance the buck to doe ratio. A healthier ratio means often stronger rut, less stress on bucks, and potentially better antler growth. So these are the clear reasons why some hunters and land managers are in favor of the early and late doe seasons. But of course, there's always another side to the story. Now we'll look at the other side. The arguments against having early and late doe hunts. Number 1 is too much pressure on deer. Critics argue that adding more hunting days spreads pressure across the deer herd. Deer can become more nocturnal, harder to hunt during the traditional seasons, and some say this diminishes the quality of the hunt for everyone. Number 2, we have an impact on the rut. Early September hunt means that deer are pressured even before the rut begins. Some hunters believe that this alters behavior and reduces natural activity during archery and firearm season. Next, we have the winter survival concerns. Late hunts can raise questions about winter survival. Does taken in December or January may already be pregnant. Some feel this reduces fawn recruitment the following spring, especially in the Upper Peninsula or northern counties where winters are really harsh. This is a big one. Some hunters feel strongly that deer management should make tradition our priority, meaning the October archery opener and November firearm season. By expanding the seasons, it can create division in the hunting community between those two who want the opportunity and those who want to keep it the same. Some of the ethical questions people have are they feel uncomfortable targeting does with their fawns late season, inside their wombs, or obviously they're pregnant from the rut. Now, these are all valid concerns, and they show why the debate doesn't have a clear right or wrong answer. So where does this leave us? Well, on one hand, the early and late doe seasons can be a valuable management tool. They help reduce accidents, protect crops, and keep deer numbers sustainable. But on the other hand, they raise questions about tradition, about herd stress, and the long-term impacts on hunting quality. What's important to remember is that Michigan is a big state. The deer population in southern farm country looks a lot different than Upper Peninsula. What works for one region might not work to make sense in another. That's why the DNR often sets regulations by deer management units rather than by blanket statewide rules. At the end of the day, wildlife management is about balance between people, deer, and the land. And balance isn't easy. It takes hunters, biologists, lawmakers, landowners all coming together with one priority in mind. Now, on one side, I see it, their issue. Besides, another thing I've heard besides the does having the babies inside of them for that late doe season is they're afraid of, you get a lot of these bucks that drop their antlers. So then there's bucks being shot during the doe season, worrying that bucks are being taken out for no reason. Now, is that a big health issue? Maybe, if you're getting too many mature bucks out of the herd there. But it's definitely something that people need to talk about, and I think there needs to be more research done into it rather than just keep having these seasons over and over again. It's always good to have healthy conversation. It's always good to research stuff and try to get as much information so you can make a great decision that has a lot of logic behind it. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today's discussion about the early and late doe seasons in Michigan. We've walked through the pros and the cons and the bigger picture, but now it's your turn. What do you think? Should Michigan continue to have these seasons? Do you think the benefits outweigh the risk, or should we scale them back to protect tradition and herd dynamics? Head on over, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell. Let us know in the comments, do you agree or disagree with the late and early doe seasons in Michigan? But thanks again for listening to Beyond the Backyard. Don't forget to follow and share and leave a comment. It really helps more people find the show. But until next time, get out there, enjoy the woods, and remember, hunting isn't just about filling tags. It's about making memories beyond the backyard.